Okay, so Phil, you're going to give us your top 10 films for Halloween.
I am.
For watching this Halloween.
Yes, top 10 horror films, and I went with favourites of mine rather than like a universal idea of what people might think are the best horror films.
Not necessarily the top rated, but just like a nice selection that you've enjoyed in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so number 10, Demons from 1985, directed by Lamberto Bava. And that's got 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't. Is it, what year is that, sorry?
85. And I watched it when I was 11 years old and it scared the crap out of me. Basically, a bunch of people in the cinema watching a film about demons, and then the demons come out of the screen.
It reminds me of Gremlins. Gremlins ripping through the screen.
Yeah, these demons come out of the screen and then they attack the people in the cinema. And then those people essentially turn into demons. So it's like a fast-paced zombie movie from the 80s. Okay. And it's got like a soundtrack.
So you get bitten by a demon, you become a demon.
Exactly. And it's soundtracks by like Motley Crue and a bunch of other rock bands, stuff like that. Lots of fun. Number 9, I've gone for... I'm cheating a little bit now, so wanted to go for a vampire film. Yeah. Love vampire films, but usually they're crap. So I went for 30 Days of Night from 2008, and that was from Ghost House Pictures. Do you remember that one?
No, I do kind of remember it. I couldn't tell you the plot, but I remember it's more modern, isn't it? I mean, you know, for me, vampire films, I think Lost Boys, and again, I think 80s is our childhood, isn't it? But But this one was just a pack of vampires just end up on an Alaskan town for a month while it's dark. Yeah. That's scorching.
It was brutal. They just rip them, you know. It was. I mean, it got a bit silly, of course.
It's a bit of a slash fest.
A bit of a slash fest, yes.
Is that what they call it? Or slasher?
Not? Yeah.
Slasher. Not slash fest, that's a whole different thing.
I went for a double entendre with my number 9, and the second vampire film that I think is up there is Let the Right One In, or in Swedish, Lats den rättat komma in.
Oh, nice. It's for our Swedish viewers.
You butchered that. Yeah. 2009, that was... you haven't seen that one, have you?
No.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
So it's not in English, it's...
Well, they made an English version, like they made an American one also, just called Let Me In, which was fine, but the original Swedish one, based on a book, is much better. That got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, so
it's high.
I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
Who enjoys it.
That's good.
Number 8, The Witch from 2016.
That's classic.
Absolutely.
Love that one. Yeah.
Directed by Robert Eggers, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I mean, if you've seen it, then you know what the fuss is about.
Well, you just can't say when that film has been made. You wouldn't know. I mean, apart from the cinematography, which is excellent in it, you just wouldn't know. I mean, it seems like it's the most un-Hollywood film I think I've ever seen. Yeah. It's just it just feels.
It's dark and it's and I loved it and the visuals and everything like that. The only thing that I didn't love about it is when I watched it at the cinema in Miami, and I was watching it with about 5 other cinema goers who just didn't get it at all, and were just laughing and complaining all the way through it, and it just kind of...
It's written quite strangely, isn't it? It's like a V, it's like Vivitch, it's written like.
Yeah.
Remember, it's like, but it's actually witch.
Old world kind of style.
Yeah.
Number 7, Paranormal Activity from 2009. Blumhouse Productions, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mixed reviews, but I genuinely loved it when I first saw it. Lots of just, you know, slamming doors and you don't really see anything, and it's
not found footage, is it? It's it is partly done on kind of like security cameras and film cameras.
I think the premise of it was that they'd found this footage of this couple that had lived in the house, and the woman had got possessed. And one of
the few good ones.
Yeah.
Of the found footage films.
Yeah, I mean, they went on quite a while, but I still thought they were good. Like, the second one was good with that kitchen scene with all the...
That was amazing, yeah. That was actually... I like the high-end effects, of the fine CGI, mixed with those camcorder shots, because it kind of makes it feel more real, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was good. Number 6, the film that introduced that whole genre, The Blair Witch Project from 1999. Yeah. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that was just awesome. I was really looking forward to watching that. I remember back in the day, and reading a lot about it and the way that they made that film. They
show your Blair Witch tattoo now.
Yeah, they didn't have a script, but they just gave the actors directions and filmed their reactions. So, like, you know, they'd be like in a tent, and then they would shake the tent and just film everybody reacting to it. Number 5, It Follows. David Robert Mitchell was the director, from 2015. Yeah. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Cool film
Awesome
soundtrack
film.
as well.
Cool soundtrack.
Synthwave.
Yeah, yeah. So like a homage to the 80s without it actually being set in the 80s. And they're making another one, apparently.
Are they?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I
Cool.
like that one.
Yeah,
number 4, Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock.
Classic.
Obviously, from the book by Robert Bloch from 1960. 97% also.
So Psycho wasn't written by Hitchcock?
No, he made it into a film.
Oh, right.
Somebody else did the screenplay. I don't remember the name of that guy.
Did he write any of the stories? Or was he just directing? I always just assumed it was his thing. But
yeah, no, but he did a very good job, didn't he?
Yeah, of course.
Even that opening scene, they're going across the city to a window, if I remember correctly, and it was almost like, you know, today you could just go straight through the window into the person in the room, and it cuts just before it gets to the window. But I think the vision that he had of that, like, there was quite even that shot. I remember being almost all one shot.
And then you got the shower scene.
Yeah, and then just the whole psychology of that story was just, you know, messed up, right? With the guy dressing up as his mother.
Yeah,
I remember watching that as a kid, just thinking,
it's quite creepy.
Fuck? Yeah,
it's quite creepy. Yeah.
Number 3, The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin in 1973.
William Friedkin.
Something like that. Friedkin?
Friedkin.
Based on the book by William Peter Blatty, which I read when I was 10 or 12 years old or something like that. And it was a little bit much for my impressionable young mind, I would say.
What was that one again? Sorry, what was that one?
The Exorcist.
Exorcist, of course.
Yeah,
yes. Who can forget The Exorcist and the... well, I don't even want to mention some of those scenes. Some of them quite full on, weren't they, really?
Yeah, I watched that in the theatre also in London, like a stage production, and they didn't shy away from any of those scenes.
Crucifix.
The crucifix scene, the peeing scene. I don't think they did the walking backwards down the stairs thing. That would have been quite...
Yeah, I just remember the head.
Yeah, they did that. Did
they?
Yeah, they had her sitting on a bed, and she, I don't know, I guess the body was stationary, and she was on some sort of...
Or she was dispossessed.
Or she was possessed.
Yeah, every night she managed to do that.
That's it. Yeah, great performances out. Max von Sydow, who was Emperor Ming in Flash Gordon. You remember him?
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend
the
looks
priest.
like him.
Yeah, he does. I know who you mean. Linda Blair and Ellen Burstyn. That was, good performances. Okay, last 2. Number 2. Any guesses?
Number 2. No.
An American Werewolf in London, 1981. John Landis inspired Michael Jackson's Thriller video. 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And you can tell that was inspired, actually, can't you? I mean, the makeup for that. I mean, it looks like a load of plasticine hanging off the face, but it looks so cool.
It was really good.
Yeah,
and that whole transformation scene was like probably quite groundbreaking, I think, for that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I might be right in that the Lost Boys used the same makeup artist as that.
And that's actually probably one of your favourite films of all time, isn't it, Lost Boys?
The Lost Boys, absolutely. But it's not on my...
it's not scary enough.
You think that would be number 1,
Well, it's not scary, is it? It's just not scary.
It's not scary enough. American Werewolf in London, I can't remember if I said this, got 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. And, they made a terrible sequel to it, which was just not even worth mentioning, actually. So, number 1.
Number 1.
My favourite Halloween film of all time.
Jurassic Park.
Fright Night from 1985, directed by Tom Holland. Not to be confused with the remake, which was all right, from a few years ago.
That's not frightening either, is it? Fright Night, although the name suggests it is. It's not actually very scary.
No, it's not. But it's got lots of nice 80s
fun,
gory fun effects. Yeah,
watch it with the whole family.
Yeah, like the first half of it.
At least half of it.
Yeah, the first half of it is kind of like all comedy, and then the second half they go into standard 80s horror.
Yeah, blood.
Yeah, Roger Ebert from the 80, a reviewer from the 80, he was basically Rotten Tomatoes back in the day. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes is... but anyway, he was he gave it 3 out of 4. And he was quite harsh with his criticism. And it got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, better than An American Werewolf in London and The Exorcist.
Doesn't surprise me in some ways, because it's more family friendly, but...
Yeah. Fright Night 2 was all right? And then the guy, Tom Holland, who wrote Fright Night and directed it, wrote a sequel called Fright Night Resurrection in the book form, which is coming out next year, which I'll be reading.
Cool. Will you be reading it on the podcast?
Oh, I can.
Can you? Story night?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to get the rights to that. But
thank you very much. That was very entertaining.
Yeah, that's my Halloween top 10, almost 11.
Good. So have you got any ghost stories from when you were a child, since it's Halloween?
I have. I've had a couple of strange experiences from when I was younger, but who knows, if those things were real or not.
Who knows? Who knows?
I remember things as, you know, at the time thinking that those happened.
Yeah.
But of course, in hindsight, I don't know.
Well,
perhaps I just had
imagination got carried away with you.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. There was a couple of things when we moved into this house.
Yeah.
It was newly built. I was about 12 years old. We got a new dog. And he was he was a little puppy, and he couldn't get up the stairs because he was too small. And there was I just feel that there was all this stuff going on around that time.
Unrest.
Unrest, yeah. The dog couldn't get up the stairs, and I remember one day he had his eyes fixated on the top of the stairs, and he was just scrambling to get up there and just trying to bark and growling at something. But of course he was a puppy, so maybe he just got spooked by something or something.
Well, you were a puppy too.
I was a puppy too.
So 2 little puppies.
Yeah.
Getting carried away.
Yeah, there were a couple of other little things that happened around there, though. I remember this Coke can that I had.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, a can of, like, Diet Pepsi. I was drinking that because there was a TV commercial with Michael J. Fox, and I thought he was the shit at the time. And I finished my can of Diet Pepsi, and I was laying in bed, and I kind of stretched my arm out and put it on the cabinet next to me. And this is what I remember, that it just rattled and stopped next to my head. And
No window open?
Well, it wouldn't have made sense. The window was behind me, but even if it was open, it shouldn't have made the Coke can rattle next to my head. But then again, who knows?
Was it one of those dancing Coke cans? It was the 80s. Do you remember those? It was one of them,
that was it. Shit.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've got a few ghost stories. I found one later, but it's not as early as yours. I was probably about 23, 24, something like that. I was living on the Isle of Wight. Do you remember when I used to live above that triple garage? I had the studio below me, music studio below me, and I had my flat above. And I used to get my friends driving up the drive, and you could see them coming up the drive for quite a way.
It was a long driveway that was surrounded by fields, basically.
Yeah, right? You're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So you've got all these long, big trees around you. And anyway, the winding driveway up to the haunted mansion was that wasn't a haunted mansion, just my studio. Up to the drive, and you could see cars pull in, and you go, oh, right, I can see. You can't always make out who it is, but you see the headlights. So I was in the kitchen one evening, probably about 7 or 8, something like that, a winter's night, or winter's evening, I should say. Yeah. And I just heard this very old-fashioned music, which is, out of place.
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned is like 1920s music with an old style singing voice. You couldn't make it out perfectly, but it was like instrumental with strings and just the classic kind of old,
just like
whiny. Well, not like that. All that floaty kind of music.
Okay.
Yeah, all that kind of weird music. We've got like a choir singing over the top of it, or a theatrical woman singing over. Anyway,
all right.
I'm half making this up now, trying to fill in the blanks. But so I looked out the window and I could see a car coming up, and it's blasting this music out. I was like, God, who's that? That's a bit strange, blasting the music that loud coming up the drive. I run down the stairs. I go outside and there's no car there, and I'm like, that's really odd, because it would take time for a car to pull in, do a 3-point turn and get back out again.
You went running out there.
Well, I exactly. I didn't sprint. No, I'm kind of being a bit dramatic then. But the journey from upstairs to downstairs was a minute.
But you just assumed it was somebody that you knew then? Or?
Well, I did, yeah, because people pulling into my drive playing loud music.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned music for that.
Yeah.
This was really odd. So I went downstairs. No one's there at all. I went into my studio thinking, well, maybe it's like one of my amplifiers what's picking up some interference from the radio, which can sometimes happen. Nothing at all. So that was very odd. And as you remember, do you remember the lane? You could go back to the window and you'd see a car.
See all the way down it.
You'd see a car like it's almost half a mile long.
Yeah.
So you'd see cars driving down there, but there's no one there. I don't particularly think that was a ghost. I don't know what that was. I imagine there's a logical explanation, but I don't have one. So it's just it's an interesting story. That's that.
All right.
Any more ghost stories?
Just like I say, a couple of things when I was a kid. Rattling Coke can next to my head. Dog barking at nothing.
Yeah.
There was bangs in the attic.
What about when you were possessed that time? Let's run down to the church.
I'd rather not talk about that.
Really?
No.
Oh, right, okay. So what do you think about people who do Ouija boards and things like that?
Ouija boards.
Who dabble in the Ouija?
I think they're very silly.
Do you?
And they shouldn't be opening doorways to the dark worlds.
Right, okay. So you wouldn't ever do that?
Never.
Never, yeah. No. No, I don't think I would. I mean...
yeah, I would. Why not? I'd be very interested to try it. Yeah, I think we should do one.
I'm not
we should do one here. Should we make one?
I'm not doing one. Not in my house. Let's go and do it in your house. Then break the glass on the roof. That's what you have to do, isn't it?
Break the glass on the roof?
Well, if you break the glass after doing it, apparently... It
releases the spirits?
Yeah, apparently something like that.
I haven't heard of that one.
Haven't you? Well, yeah. Don't do it anyway.
Yeah, I'd be interested to do one just to see if it works.
Would you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see,
I'll be up for doing one.
My mum's always told me as a kid, don't ever do that. We did one in the salon. We had a hairdresser. She had a hairdresser on. Don't ever do that. We had a few of us in there, and we all decided to do it one day. And it spout out the name of this girl's mum who's dead, who was with us, and none of us would have done that to her. And it was, I don't think my mum truly believed it, but she said that she was scared,
spooked.
Well, she was spooked, and it's that all the girls. But I mean, maybe the whole thing about touching it. I mean, it's subconsciously you could be moving it, couldn't you? You're all subconsciously moving it together,
or telekinetically.
Yeah, maybe, and I mean, if you. She says that none of them would have wanted to do that to her, and I don't think they would have, because they're all very nice people. But yeah, so that kind of scared me actually as a kid, thinking, no, I wouldn't ever do it. I don't think I would do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be up for doing one anytime. Yeah,
would you?
Definitely. Yeah, I see. My belief system isn't the same as what it used to be when I was younger. I don't believe in a devil. I'm not sure I believe in evil spirits floating around waiting to...
No. Well, the older you get, the more you realise it's probably all bullshit.
Yeah.
But...
So I think there's definitely something going on, but is it some dead demon lurking around waiting to strike, just waiting for me to do a Ouija board so it can wreak havoc?
He's waiting for anyone. He's waiting for you. You're
quite
vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true. Devil worshipping on the Isle of Wight. We could also add that to like where you lived, didn't they? Oh
yeah,
close to where you lived.
Behind the studio on Greenwood Farm.
Yeah,
my old place of residence
on the Isle of Wight.
On the Isle of Wight, where there seems to be a lot of paganish rituals go on.
Paganish.
Yeah. Well, that kind of. I mean, I don't know if some people kind of get mixed up with devil worshipping and paganism, don't they? Because it probably looks quite closely linked if you watched a group of people standing in a field of
people
sacrificing
witches. If they're witches, then I suppose then it's sort of
paganism and witches, is it? Well, that's the thing. It's like this is the whole thing. It's the whole pagan cross is like the witch's symbol, is it? And I suppose there's links of all that. But anyway, they're behind the house. There was a few people saying that they saw people in the old chalk pit.
Well, we walked up there once when we were younger.
Yeah.
And I remember there was some sort of remnants of there'd been something going on there, like a stone, and there was like a bunch of. I might be making this up now, but there was a bunch of evidence of a fire being there and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's people on fires. Yeah.
That's where they have the devil worshipping.
Yeah, I believe so. There's been stories about people will go and walk up there and having like pigs chucked down on them. You hear that? Who was that? Who was that friend of ours who was at the bottom of the small cliff?
And he claimed that a pig.
Someone chucked, and it's the burning cross as well. I mean, it gets quite far fetched, doesn't it? But people like chucking things like that around, and it's mainly probably kids mucking around. I'm not so sure, but there's a rich history on the Ghost Isle.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be one of the most haunted places in the UK, if you believe in that kind of thing. Yeah,
well, everyone's got a story, haven't they?
Yeah.
That's the funny thing.
Not me.
You've got a few. You've already told a few.
Just the Coke can. That's not. Yeah. I don't think that really.
Well, you've got others. Like I said, when you get to run down to the church.
I don't think that the rattling Coke can is on the same level as a burning cross or a carcass of a pig landing on you.
Well, it depends. If a child chucks it, it's not. If it's all fun and games. But,
if a child chucks,
this is probably kids playing.
Okay.
It's probably kids setting it alight.
Dead pigs.
Well, yeah. I mean, Dad's a butcher. Get your dead pig.
My dad's a priest, so I've got a cross we can set on fire.
Your dad's a priest, my dad's a butcher. I'll get the pig's head, you get the cross.
Let's just wait.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, that's how these things happen.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
I remember a kid at school, you brought a leg of a dead bird in to show, and he had it in a plastic bag, and he was pulling the tendons, so the hand was going like this on his dead. I thought, God, what kind of thing was that to bring to school? He didn't have any toys, did he? So,
just a dead bird leg to play with. What did you get for Christmas this year, Johnny?
I was fascinated by it, thinking, he's making the arm move by pulling the tendon here. But, it's disgusting. In a Tesco's bag, all blood in it.
Oh, lovely. Did he find it on the way to school, or?
No, he was just one of those kids, one of those weird kids.
Right.
Who fascinated with hunting and killing animals and all that kind of thing. But to do that, he must have been quite disturbed.
Is he still around these days? Is he still?
Well, I don't want to mention his name because it's a bit.
Well, yeah, of course not. But he didn't turn into a serial killer or anything like that. Okay.